Well, good afternoon. Welcome to Weekend Central. We come to you live from our studios here at Adesawe Kanda in Accra. My name is Judith Brown. Coming up this afternoon. This afternoon, New Patriotic Party MPP flag bearer Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia calls on all party members to put aside differences and work together as the party prepares for the 2028 general elections. Plus, Chair of ECOWAS Commission and President of Sierra Leone, Dr. Julius Maada Bio, says standby force must be activated and funded to deal with increasing threats of terrorism in the sub-region. We have details of these and more coming up shortly. Do stick and stay. Welcome once again to the bulletin. We start from here. Now, the New Patriotic Party flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has called on all party members to put aside differences and work together as the party prepares for the 2028 general elections. Now, speaking after being officially declared the MPP flag bearer on Saturday, Dr. Bawumia emphasized that the outcome of the election should mark the beginning of cooperation among party members.
I say thank you to every contestant for participating in this race and for giving delegates an opportunity to make an informed choice. I say a special thank you to the members of Parliament who championed my bid, both in Parliament and in their various constituencies. I will never forget what you have done for me, and I will never forget you. The polls have ended, but our push for a stronger MPP has just begun. With Almighty God, we shall succeed. The journey to victory 2028 has just begun. We are in this together. We shall work together, and we will win together. We shall work together, and we will win together. As it is often said, after competition comes cooperation. And our expectation that all party members will apply themselves to this principle. It cannot be the case that one's support for the party is maintained only when those we support lead. I want to stand on this energy to make a passionate appeal to all members of the great MPP to let go of whatever reservations they have and come together. We need every idea, every voice, and every piece of advice to help us preserve and project a proud tradition bequeathed to us by our forebears.
Well, we're still on the subject because Kennedy Ohene-Agyapong urged his supporters to accept the outcome of the election in good faith and unite for victory in 2028.
I stand before you to pledge my support, also to accept the results declared by EC. The delegates have spoken, and I want to plead with my supporters that they should stay calm and respect the results and help all of us to work together to win 2029 or 2028 elections.
And Dr. Brian Achampong, who finished third in the race, pledged his support to Dr. Bawumia, also calling for unity for victory in 2028.
I congratulate my senior brother and patriot, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, on his victory and wish him every success as he leads our party forward. I called him earlier this evening to let him know he has my full support. Most importantly, I thank God for His grace, guidance, and protection throughout this journey. I am deeply grateful for how far He has brought us. The past 4 months has been very heavy, but incredibly rewarding to all of us, especially the MPP. Whilst tonight's outcome is not what I had hoped for, I accept the results with humility, and my resolve remains strong. My heartfelt thanks goes to Ghanaians who opens their doors and hearts to us, to every delegate who believed in this vision and walked the journey with me. I am equally grateful to my family for their patience and prayers, and to the former President, His Excellency John Ejekum Kufuor, and His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo for their wisdom and guidance. To my fellow aspirants for a spirited contest, and to the Presidential Elections Committee for overseeing a professional process. Now more than ever, the MPP must stand united as one family. Our collective responsibility is to rebuild trust with Ghanaians.
Well, let's get the views of the MPP's main opponents. And Rashid Tanko Computer is the Deputy IT and Elections Director for the governing National Democratic Congress. Also, we're joined by Dr. Samuel Efriye, who is a political analyst. We're going to start with you, Dr. Rashid Tanko, first. And now we know who your main opponents, that's the MPP, are presenting for 2028. That's Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Were you expecting this result?
Very well. Let me say good afternoon to you and your cherished viewers across the globe. Indeed, we were not expecting any surprise at all. We were not. When they started the process, we knew that it was going to be Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. We knew it. This was a planned strategy, a cooked strategy meant to still bring him back. But interestingly enough, you know what happened? The only surprise was his downward trend. If you look at history, it's not on his side. All the other candidates, being the NDC or MPP, if you take the like of His Excellency President Kufuor, when he did his second time in terms of contest, he was increasing his margin. If you look at Nana Akufo-Addo, he also increased his margin in his next contest. After the 2008 election, he went in for the primaries again and increased his margin. But what did we see yesterday? From 61.4, he declined to 56. He lost about 4.9. That tells you a lot. That tells you that even within the party, he's not that popular, and that is telling. And we are ready. We are ready for him. I mean, we were not expecting anything new from him. I mean, and he didn't mince words yesterday in his acceptance speech. He was still relying on Nana Akufo-Addo. He said he's going to continue where Nana Akufo-Addo left, and then he's going to build on Nana Akufo-Addo. And you know what? The legacy of Nana Akufo-Addo that led them to get a 38%. And then, so if he's going to build on that, your guess is as good as mine.
Well, clearly the MPP is using the top-bottom approach, and in that they've elected their presidential candidate before they go ahead to elect the national executives and whatnot. This gives them more time to campaign towards 2028. Does this in any way make you, as a party, probably shaking as you are going to go through the bottom-up approach?
Not at all. You see, that method they have adopted, that method led to the election of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. If they had gone to do their branch election, which they call it polling stations, constituency elections, regional and national, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia would have lost this thing. He would have lost it. I mean, it's telling clearly.
And who do you say would have won?
The point he lost. Of course, it would have just been between either Dr. Brian, and then Honorable Kenneth Japan. If you look at their showing, it tells you that the establishment just wanted to to bring in Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and they know that if they had gone through the proper reorganization of their party, there's no way they were going to vote for him. But, well, we will not go that route. Right. We have been using our bottom up. We have just announced our roadmap, and we are going through the process. It's going to be a seamless process, very smooth process. You know, the NDC is a very disciplined political party, and we are going to go through this process until December 19th, where we'll have a national congress to elect our national officers. And before we can now come strongly against them. But I can tell you, the good work of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is there for everybody to see. Right. They themselves are living testimonies to it. And so whether they start campaigning today or tomorrow is immaterial to us.
Well, we know, we know the president has just one term. And how will Dr. Bawumia square up against any candidates that the NDC will elect going forward?
I'm saying that his record is there. We have his records as a vice president and as a presidential candidate for the MPP. So we have his record. I don't think he's bringing anything new. And during his campaign for this election they just held, he repeated similar rhetorics. And also we have it. Otherwise, we know we are going to rely on the records of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Of course, the NDC performance so far 1 year has been fantastic. We've started the second year again, and everything is getting on well. We will make sure that we perform to the admiration of Ghanaians. And whoever we are bringing up there, the person is going to beat him and beat him. Look, let me tell you, the other four candidates, they participated in this knowing very well that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was going to win. And then he will lose the 2028 election. And they will come back. That's why they were all at the grounds and speaking quietly as if they were accepting the defeat. They are just appealing to the delegates so that they know that after 2028, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will not come again. It will now be the battle between the Brian and then the Ajapons to go in. So they have to become and just accept it because they know he's just on his way out. That one day is very telling. 2028, he will be out of the race completely.
Right, many thanks for your time. Rashid Tanko Computer is the Deputy Director for IT and Elections for the National Democratic Congress.
I'm grateful.
Right. Now, Dr. Efriye Samuel is also a political analyst. He's joining us with more details as well on the same subject. Doc, good afternoon to you. Now, are you surprised with Dr. Bawumia's margin of win?
Thank you very much, and greetings to your viewers and listeners around the world. And yesterday, when we got the figures, the surprise that he will win is not something new, but the margin, and also we can deduce it from the number of, I think there was an increase in the number of votes that the delegates, and that is also one thing that needs to be considered. But as the trend has shown from the 1996, that the first time before he had 51, and second time he had 64. Nanado also first time had 47, second time he had 78. So Dr. Bawumia having to 61 and dropping to 56 need to be looked at. And well, people are thinking about just one personality, that is a person of Dr. Bawumia, but that the percentage gives an indication about how Dr. Bawumia needs to work hard. He has a lot of hurdles to cross over before we can get things done with the party. You know, because when you look at the percentages, it can indicate that Ken having 23, Brian having 18, he has to bring all of them on board. If not, it will be very, very difficult if because the percentages of these the delegates indicates that work needs to be done and you have to bring everybody on board. If not, it will be very difficult for him for 2028 elections. And that is what I'm saying, that Dr. Bawumia have a lot of tasks to amend or to work on because you having more than 100,000, others also, the numbers, the rest are split, gives an indication that you have to bring all of them together. And that causes a lot of work at the same time because the party is discounted. So we just give a fair view that the percentage that you've gotten has dropped. And then, but at the same time, you see that the figure, the delegate was increased. So when you go to the broader perspective of the delegates, then it means that you have to work hard to bring all those people on. And so Ken needs to be part, Brian needs to be part, and all those, everybody, if they don't unite for a common purpose, and here it's not about math unite, if I should say so, they have to put their resources, they have everybody, any area that someone can be capable. I think Dr. Bawumia, and Dr. Bawumia needs to go to the ground, apologize to whoever that has been offended within the party. So Dr. Bawumia have a big task now.
Right.
Trying to work within the party.
Now, you've been talking about unity, and all the candidates, as we saw yesterday, have pledged to unite behind Dr. Bawumia ahead of the 2028 polls. Now, how challenging or easy will that be for him?
It's so challenging because, my dear, you look at you saying it and working towards it. That is the issue now. Maybe because of party delegates, because of media, and other image that you want to portray. You have to say something for people to be okay. But actually, are you going to commit your resource? Are you going to commit your people to work for Dr. Bawumia? That is where the reality comes in. Right. And that's what I'm saying, that Dr. Bawumia needs a lot. He needs people with experience to go to these individuals, not only these four. There are other people, there are other individuals that the party, they have been disgruntled members. Dr. Bawumia needs to work hard. If not, I'm sorry, it will not be on his side for 2028.
Now that the party will be undertaking other level elections, will you say that the current party executives who threw their weight behind Dr. Bawumia but were blamed for the party's 2024 loss have an easier task retaining their positions?
My dear, I think, for me, the current executive, I think I have been on their net, the current MPP national. Everybody should go. No one should stay. The party delegate or party members should punish them for making the party unattractive. And if it's bridging, anyone that the party, because the party has gone into an abyss, meaning that the number of votes, and it's not only Dr. Bawumia that to be blamed. So everyone that has caught, and it starts from the executive, national, everybody, even if someone is coming for another contest or whatever, a different position, they have to be clear to give a party a new image, a new face. If not, it will be very difficult because this current executive has a lot of issues. And then yesterday we learned that Dr. Bawumia was thinking about discipline. This party, the MPP party, have not been branded as a disciplined party. Everybody does his own thing, and it starts from the national executive that need to be cleaned off from all these kind of mess. So a new executive will come in, rebrand the party, regional executive, old ones, all of them should clear. You see, when you do some of these processes, it gives a new image. It gives a new hope for the party. If that not be the case, it will be very.
Well, many thanks for your time. Dr. Samuel Afriyie is a political analyst. He has been giving us his thoughts on the entire election that ensued just yesterday for the New Patriotic Party. Well, we're going to stay on this because the Minority Caucus in Parliament has congratulated former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia following his victory in the New Patriotic Party's presidential primary, officially making him the party's flag bearer for the 2028 general elections. In a statement issued on Saturday, January 31, the Minority Caucus described Dr. Bawumia's win as decisive and reflective of the confidence reposed in him by MPP delegates nationwide. The primary was conducted across all 276 constituencies, including voting by delegates in the diaspora. Well, according to the statement, his election presents a clear mandate to lead the party into the next general elections. The Minority Caucus noted that the contest featured several high-profile aspirants, including Kennedy Ejapon, Dr. Brian Champon, Dr. Yao Oseidu-Chum, and Engineer Kwabena Ejapon, all of whom, it said, presented strong credentials and ideas for the party's future. It called on all party members or aspirants and supporters, delegates and party structures to rally behind Dr. Bawumia's leadership in the interests of national cohesion and electoral success. Now, the Bono East Regional Director of the Electoral Commission, Dr. Gabriel De Yeboah, has urged members of both the NDC and MPP to emulate the exemplary conduct displayed during the just-ended MPP presidential primaries.
The exercise has been very successful. You know, we had the exercise at two different levels, the polling station level and then collation level. At the polling station level, the exercise went on smoothly in all the 12 voting centers. And at the regional level, the collation also went on smoothly. The process has been very smooth from the beginning to the end. And I wish all our elections were going to be like this. We didn't have a report of any violence anywhere. Human beings create violence. There is no region or any district that is violence. So I think that the two parties should learn from what has happened today, that we can conduct election peacefully in this region as it happens in any other.
Let's do some more stories. And former MP for Tema East, Titus Glover, has called on all aspirants to rally behind Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia following his victory in the party's primaries.
Thankfully, Dr. Bawumia has won by 77.7% in Tema East constituency. Kennedy had about 19.5%, and Brian and the others, whatever. But I think that we knew that we were going to win the big margin. And Tema East is setting the pace. And there's going to be a resounding victory. It's a victory to unite this party. The MPP spirit is behind Dr. Bawumia, and we are continuing to 2021. So I can assure you, it's a beginning of a better things to happen. And it's going to resonate across the 276 constituencies. This is the beginning. So I thank God for how far the strong Dr. Bawumia and the MPP should be measured in our celebration. Particularly we, the supporters, which measure. Because at the end of the day, we need all sides, all the aspirants to come together. And I can tell you, when people are going to do election, the next day tomorrow, His Excellency the Vice President is going to invite everybody together and sing one common song: unity, unity, unity.
Now, the Ashanti Regional Campaign Team for Dr. Bawumia has described Dr. Bawumia's performance in the Ashanti region in the just-ended internal race as a demonstration of unity and balance. The former vice president won 45 out of the 47 constituencies in the opposition party's stronghold. Dr. Ayu Ifriye is campaign coordinator.
Goes to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. It shows that this region is one family, one people. It's a Ghanaian family, and we only vote based upon who is competent and who is supposed to carry the day. And that is the message we have sent, and that is what you see over here. We take this opportunity on behalf of the team to extend our congratulations to our boss, the former Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Your Excellency, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. The team from Ashanti congratulates him. And also, we wish the aspirants better luck next time. It's not the end of the road. We need to collect ourselves and then seek unity for the party's victory in 2028. Again, we ask our fans of the fans of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to be moderate with their pronouncements and their actions and their celebrations. All we ask is love to lead us and be cautious of the kind of words we choose among ourselves.
Well, William Evans Inkum is our Northern Bureau Chief who covered this year's primaries and the 2023 MPP presidential primaries. He joins me with more details on this. Evans, how did Dr. Bawumia and Kennedy Japan perform in the Ashanti region?
Well, so if you're talking about head-to-head, then you will say that this time around it was a total victory for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And maybe you would want to thank his campaign team led by Dr. Free and, of course, Augustine Collins and team. Now, if you look at 2023, for instance, constituencies like Bosome Freho, New Edubiase, and Komena, Kennedy won. And I'm going to give you the numbers over here. So, Bosome Freho, for instance, in 2023, Ken had in nominal figures 233 votes, which will translate to 50.5%. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia had 226, which will translate to 49%. Because 2026, the same constituency, Ken had only 66 votes, which translates to 13.58%. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia had 352 votes, which translates to 72.39%. Just like a question like New Edubiase, in 2023, Ken won with 53.9%. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia trailed by 45%. 2026, just yesterday, Ken dropped from 53.9% to 33.22%. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia from 45%, even though dropped to 40%, but he still won because Ken had only 33.22%.
Right.
Komena constituency, of course, which became a hot cake in 2020, in the 2020 election after that particular polls. Ken had, in 2023, had 65% against Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's 34%. As we speak, Ken dropped from 65% to 33%, with Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia appreciating from 34% to 53%. So it was a total, maybe in football you call it annihilation. If you're talking about or comparing the performance of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to that of Kennedy or Japan as far as the 47 constituencies in the Ashanti region. However, Dr. Brian the champion was able to snatch Afano Southwest from a DMB because in 2023, it was in the camp of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and this time around, Brian the champion had it. And for some constituency, I will call it no surprises because that is the constituency of the former education minister who is also, or who was vying to become the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party. I'm talking about Dr. Osei Yawaduchitum, and he won his constituency. So only two constituencies slipped from Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, but for Ken, he had 0 in the 47 constituencies.
Right. Now, William, let's stay on this subject because you have been comparing the numbers as regards to Dr. Kennedy Japan and Dr. Bawumia. What would you say was Kennedy Japan's nemesis in this entire defeat? Because losing those votes, would you say it went to Dr. Brian Echampong this time in the Ashanti region?
Nemesis, I wouldn't want to go into scientific, but I would want to look at it from the optics. Well, maybe you will say that then you probably you assess the performance of the campaign team. Maybe Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia campaign team had some level of superior advantage or had a better strategy going into yesterday's flag bearer race compared to Kennedy's campaign team, because in 2023. What went right for them? I mean, having secured 3 constituencies out of 47. But in 2026, you lose all 3 constituencies to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Then you say that maybe the difference here will have to do with the performances of both campaign teams. And you certainly judge the Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's campaign team as, being the best. For Dr. Brian, yes, you say that his campaign team did marvelously well because Dr. Brian Champon doesn't hail from the Ashanti region. He is in the eastern region. For him to have snatched a seat from the Ashanti region, and mere place than Afano Southwest, which used to be one of the strongholds of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, you also say that his campaign team did very well. And of course, you also not take anything away from Dr. Yaosebitu's campaign team, having leapfrogged, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia in 2023, if you're talking about 2023 performance, to secure that particular seat for the incumbent member of parliament, who also vie for the flag bearership race. Yes, of course, you also say that his campaign team, Dr. Yaosebitu's campaign team, also did well.
Now, Evans, before you go, you are very familiar with the Ashanti region. The party lost some seats to the NDC in 2024. What must be done to bridge that gap going forward, even though there's 3 years still coming?
Two things. And it was captured in the MPP's post-2024 election report.
Right.
The issue of infrastructure. Where many believe that, well, this is our party, but we did not see that level of development in our various constituencies. And of course, when Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was campaigning, he made mention of that if given the opportunity, he will make sure that at least those developments is felt as far as these constituencies are concerned. Then, of course, some also believe that they were left out of the national cake. Here, right. We are not talking about national development, but opportunities that they felt that once their party is in power, they will get. They were sidelined. And of course, there have been some promises from the flag bearer elect for the new Patriotic Party. So going forward, it's just a matter of, exerting some level of confidence or reposing some level of confidence that given the opportunity, I'll be able to do things better.
Right.
The rest has to do with national issues. And of course, everybody wants to enjoy the current state of affairs, but in case anything goes south, maybe as the political games normally entails, we want to capitalize on that. And when you get the opportunity, you just have to fulfill our promises.
Many thanks for your time. William Evans Inkum is our Northern Bureau Chief, bringing us all the details from the Ashanti region in the just ended New Patriotic Party presidential primary. We are staying on that because that primary was framed as a battle between science and prophecy. Pollster Musa Dankwa and Prophet El Bernard represented opposing forces ahead of the crucial election, which has gone in the favor of science. But will this be the end? There's more in this report.
The NPP's presidential primary meant everything to the party that is seeking to reclaim power in 2028, just 4 years after staying in opposition. But the last week to the polls had everything less about politics. A clash between numbers and prophecies took the focus to a dramatic twist.
I'm putting 27 years of hearing and seeing, 18 years of pastoring the church in Accra on the line. When you are dealing with God, remove if.
Trend you put everything at risk. We have tracked this poll for 5 good months. The trend is there. The trend doesn't lie. And the trend is so current.
This is not the first time polls by Musa Dankwa has proven accurate. From the 2024 general election predictions to the Akwatia by-election, Global Info Analytics polls have consistently come in handy. His final poll predicting win for Dr. Bawumia was challenged by consistent prophecies by Prophet El Bernard, but the NPP delegates decided, and Dankwa's polls aligned with final declaration from the Electoral Commission.
It just simply means that for decades, this country has been manipulated and misled by lack of data, and we've opened the space up. We've made it more transparent.
Right.
There's no longer bedroom analysis, and you have to show workings, provide reasons why you believe it will go this way. And I think today we are proving beyond reasonable doubt that data doesn't lie.
This has reinforced the growing influence of data-driven political analysis in Ghana's electoral space when ballots were counted at the end of the primaries across 333 polling centers nationwide. The numbers told a familiar story, a story the data had already hinted at.
For a candidate to be elected presidential candidate, that person must obtain more than 50% of the valid votes cast. On the basis of this result, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia obtained 56.48%. Therefore, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has been duly elected presidential candidate for New Patriotic for 2028 elections.
That outcome stood in sharp contrast to a prophecy by Prophet Elbenard, which had suggested a different result. This has reopened debate about the influence of spiritual declarations in elections.
Those who are committed start jubilating. The flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party is Kennedy on Japan.
Internal party elections are less about emotion and speculation and more about numbers and organization. As the country heads towards the next general election in 2028, trust in the polling methods of Musa Dankwa continues to grow. For religious leaders who venture into political prophecy, the moment also raises questions about accountability on the impact of failed predictions on public confidence and on their credibility. Attention will soon shift to the governing National Democratic Congress, which is expected to elect its flag bearer by 2027. For the 2028 general elections, will science continue to outperform prophecy, or will faith reclaim its space in Ghana's electoral predictions? Only time will tell.
Well, be sure to share your thoughts with us on all our social media platforms on this battle between science and prophecy. You're still watching Weekend Central. We're going for our very first break. We'll be back with more news. Stay with us. Well, welcome back. Now, the chair of the ECOWAS Commission and president of Sierra Leone, Dr. Julius Maada Bio, says a standby force must be activated and funded to deal with the increasing threats of terrorism in the sub-region. West Africa has become the region with the highest death rates globally, accounting for 44 deaths daily. He was speaking on the second day of a high-level consultative conference on security and cooperation in Accra.
The insecurity within the West African sub-region is becoming increasingly alarming. Between the last 3 to 5 years, about 7 different coups have happened, some successful, others not. The most populous nation within the sub-region, Nigeria, has experienced several kidnappings and attacks. The latest in the scheme of attacks is what happened in Niger, where their biggest airport was attacked by some unknown insurgents. And it is all of these that have informed the ECOWAS chair, Dr. Julius Maada Bio, to call for a standby military force that can neutralize some of these threats, or better still, prevent them from happening in the first place by the sharing of intelligence.
ECOWAS has taken important steps, including progress towards activating the standby force. Sierra Leone hosts the ECOWAS logistics depot in Lunge in support of regional peace support and counterterrorism operations. But no regional force can succeed alone. Resolution 2719 offers a pathway to predictable and sustainable United Nations support. It must now be fully implemented. We call on the United Nations Secretariat and the African Union to work closely with ECOWAS to establish mandates, secure funding, and deploy operational assets without further delay.
The conference focused on 2 specific areas, security and cooperation. Under cooperation, Ghana's President John Dramani Mahama challenged member countries to focus on developing their respective countries and engaging the youth who usually are enticed to engage in some of these unscrupulous activities. He believes development and peace go hand in hand.
Peace and security cannot be sustained by force alone. In its broadest sense, development is the cornerstone of lasting stability. When young people have access to quality education, relevant skills, and decent employment, they are less vulnerable to recruitment by extremist or criminal networks. When communities experience inclusive growth and responsive governance, social cohesion is strengthened and trust in institutions is restored. Investments in infrastructure, healthcare, agriculture, energy, and regional connectivity reduce the vulnerability of our nations and expand opportunity. Economic integration and trade facilitation reinforce resilience of our economies.
Now, away from that, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Ama Kofi Boa, has announced that the ministry will plant 20 million seedlings this year under the Tree for Life Restoration Initiative. Speaking at the opening of the ministry's management retreat in Elembele, he noted that an ongoing restructuring effort has been designed to strengthen the fight against illegal mining and enhance overall resource governance. Rama Smith has more.
In an effort to better plan and strategize the protection and management of Ghana's lands and natural resources, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has held a staff and agency retreat at Elembele in the Western region. At the opening session, Paramount Chief of the Esikado Traditional Area, Nana Kwabena Nketia V, stated that Ghana cannot fully benefit from its natural resources unless their true value is better understood. He questioned why so many communities rich in minerals remain mired in poverty despite their resource wealth.
Anytime I go to Prestia, I go to Bogoso, I weep. And you ask them, how long have you been extracting gold from this place? How long have you been extracting gold from Obuasi? And what do the communities gain? So investment is a vision. Anybody who is coming to invest in any place must have a vision of that area and what he or she wants to do with it. It's not just extraction. So be concerned about these things.
The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Amakufibua, emphasized the ministry's commitment to ensuring the proper management of the country's lands and natural resources, noting that an ongoing restructuring initiative is aimed at strengthening the fight against illegal mining and improving overall resource governance.
We also have embarked on huge efforts to basically reform the mining sector. I'm very happy to tell you that, and thanks to your participation, we've traveled the length and breadth of the country in all the regions, and we are now ready to send the Act 703 to Cabinet. And very soon you'll be hearing the policy and the law with the changes, some of them you described. How do we make sure that at the local levels where mining is going to take place are part of the licensing regime?
He also outlined several of the ministry's key achievements, announcing that 20 million seedlings are set to be planted this year under the Tree for Life Reforestation Initiative, in addition to plans to restore degraded lands.
This year, and this is one of the reasons we gathered here, we are going to plan on continuing Tree for Life Restoration Initiative. About 20 million seedlings is what we are targeting. We are also targeting an additional 1,000 jobs through the Forest World Champions program. We are going to complete stakeholder consultation on the draft bill on Forest Wildlife Resource Management Act.
The Western Regional Minister, Joseph Nelson, has meanwhile called for greater logistical and financial support for regional coordinating councils to strengthen the fight against galamsey.
Now, fossil fuels drive nearly 90% of global carbon emissions, yet developing countries in Ghana, or like Ghana, least responsible for the crisis, face the greatest social, economic and environmental costs, raising urgent questions about who should phase out fossil fuels first and how a fair finance transition can be achieved. Deborah Abamensa has more in this report.
Fossil fuel extraction and use account for nearly 90% of global carbon emissions, placing them at the center of international efforts to tackle climate change. Agreements such as the Paris Agreement and the Montreal Protocol commit countries to reducing emissions, but experts say the path to a low-carbon future must recognize deep global inequalities. In Africa, the transition is further complicated by debt. Esifo Seidu, Minister of State for Climate Change and Sustainability, argues that countries most responsible for climate change have a duty to contribute more.
Some people are responsible for a predicament, okay? You know, that is what accounts for the debt overhang that we have. Look at the Ghana debt, for instance. That's at last week, $644 million, okay? So at the end of the day, how did that come about? It came about because we had to go into borrowing to fix climate-related challenges, okay? So if fossil fuel has its own debt overhang, you know, and we want to transition, those who are emitting, those who are responsible for it, will have to contribute to that.
The transition, they add, must also protect livelihoods. Experts stress that the shift to low carbon emissions must be development focused, ensuring no country is left behind.
Currently, Africa is the most energy poor continent on Earth. We've seen decades of fossil fuel extraction across the continent, and despite that, there's 600 million Africans that do not have access to electricity. There's 1 billion Africans that inhale toxic fumes every day from a lack of clean cooking. There's more than 80% of the world's population that lives without electricity access is in sub-Saharan Africa. So we are currently facing energy poverty. What we need is to transition to the abundant energy of the wind and the sun and riverways, because the fossil fuel model has not powered our continent. We're actually the only continent on Earth where the population living without energy access has increased since the year 2000. So we're going in the wrong direction. We cannot continue to assume that a fossil fuel model will power our people, because it does not. It enriches elites, but it doesn't reach the people.
The Global Just Transition and the Fossil Fuel Treaty Initiative, co-convened by the Ministry of Climate Change and Sustainability, is to complement the Paris Agreement by supporting a fair, fast and financed transition away from fossil fuels towards renewable energy systems that are people-centered, resilient and just.
And that's our wrap-up Weekend Central right here on TV3. My name is Judith Brown. A pleasure coming to you always. Don't go away. Hot Issues with Kemni Amano is up next. Bye-bye.